And those are the images, the famous images of the Bahi Khata. Yes, go on, Jayant.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that is a very sort of short-sighted and inaccurate view. The reality is that any sophisticated, advanced economy has to be able to provide social security, has to be able to provide a certain level of social welfare to vulnerable populations. And right now our farmers are vulnerable because many of them structurally are on small land holdings. Many of them don't have access to irrigation. Many of them are not even landowners. They are working on other people's farms. So this is a vulnerable population that needs to be supported. It requires the full efforts of the government to be able to provide them more income and to be able to transition them to other high productivity occupations. And of course, that is underway. That is not to say, as Anandji was insinuating, that other sections of society are not being supported. Of course, other sections of society are being supported as well. Whether it is young people who are getting a number of benefits, whether it is what we are doing with Nari Shakti, of course, we are providing benefits there. Many of these benefits being provided by states, for example, through the Ladli Behna Yojana. The Sukanya Yojana also is targeted at women. So we have social support for all vulnerable sections of society, and certainly having gone through COVID when it was very important to provide that support, we have seen that this does work and it does enable people to get out of poverty, which is actually what has happened. The data clearly, and we are doing that across the board. Now, along with that, obviously we have to ensure that our economy is globally competitive, that through the PLI scheme, through the financial reforms that we've undertaken, GST, IBC, all of that we build a globally competitive corporate sector as well. So every modern day economy, and certainly ours at $4 trillion is a very large economy, requires both social security as well as competitiveness. Both are required. We are doing both, and we're doing it very successfully.
Dr. Santosh Mehrotra, would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, I think it does require a response, with all due respect to my good friend Mr. Sinha. You know, let's just recall that the PM Kisan is available only to owner cultivators. Owner cultivators are not all the farmers. It's not available to tenant farmers who are weaker than owner cultivators. Secondly, it is not available to landless labor who are the weakest in the rural areas. Thirdly, it is certainly not available to urban poor. So we would like to see something happening on that. However, let's just recall why this is important at this juncture. We've seen an increase in the agricultural workforce in the last 3 years alone of 60 million workers because of reverse migration. So be under no impression that millions of people are coming back to the non-farm sector, to cities to work, because non-farm work is not growing. I can prove that to you in a minute. And let's just remember that despite all the welfare programs, and I welcome many of them, the sanitation one, particularly the housing the building of housing, but poverty is not plummeting. You know, you may claim it on the basis of a flawed multi-dimensional poverty index, but you've not put out the consumption poverty. And I'll give you the wage data. In 2017, there were 152 million people who were earning less than 100 rupees a day.